Aloha. Thank you for joining us for another episode of AJ in 8. A few months ago, I remember being at a friend's home and we were having dinner and there was a knock on the door. His wife got up, went to answer the door, and it was canvassers that was asking about their solar on their roof and started getting into a pitch about how they needed to ensure that there was a cleaning regimen in place, a maintenance scenario, so they would come out and do the solar panel cleaning, once a year or twice a year if they wanted to, and help with efficiency and all these things. And knowing that I'm in the industry, she turned her back and she looked at me, AJ, do we need this? And I said, yes, you need solar panels clean, but you don't necessarily need their service. Tell them thank you. Fast forward, now we went ahead and installed these solar panel cleaners on my friend's home a few weeks ago, and we started talking about it. He's super happy with the increased performance and the way that it looks. He said that it looks so much better just knowing that it's clean. But he also made a few different comments that I wanted to really talk about today, because solar panel maintenance, solar panel cleaning is extremely important, especially nowadays, with everybody at home and being able to see what's going on. It's really just an eyesore when, my friend was telling me, looking at his solar panels before, it was just knowing it was so corroded and dirty and everything. And then looking at his dashboard to see the efficiency levels just continuing to drop. So just awareness makes us be more on top of things a little bit more. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up is that if you do engage a solar panel cleaning service, there's a few things that you really need to consider. Number one, when are they going to be cleaning the panels? Okay, so this is kind of a two-part question. Number one, what time of day? Right? Because most of these people work in the daytime when the sun is out and bright, and solar panels could be 100 degrees. If you go ahead and put cold water on these hot solar panels, I've seen glass crack because of that temperature difference. So that's something to keep in mind, is when are they going to come out and do the actual cleaning of the panels? The other part is, when are they going to clean it, is how often are they going to clean it? A lot of the people that I know don't clean their solar panels. Okay? They just assume that everything is set in and forget it. So they don't clean it. The few that I do know that do clean it, maybe cleans it once a year. The really proactive ones are engaged in a service to come and clean it twice a year. So it was very evident in my friend's world when we installed the solar panel cleaners on his home, and it cleans it every 2 or 3 days automatically in the middle of the night, so he doesn't have to worry about it. But what he said was, the parts of the panel that don't get the water, you could actually see after just 2 weeks, you can see a visual difference from the ground on his 2-story home, on his solar panels on the top. He said, I can actually see the difference between the parts that have gotten water and clean and the parts that didn't. So can you imagine if that's going on with your entire system? So if you do engage a service to come and clean twice a year, even once a quarter, 4 times a year, after just 2 weeks here, near Coto de Casa, we're not in a heavily polluted area where there's a lot of airborne, dirt and junk that's around, but it's getting dirty within just 2 weeks. So that regular cleaning has to be something that we really take into consideration. But, if you do it right, my friend is showing anywhere from a 20 to a 30% increase in efficiency. And that's traditionally what you see. When you go ahead and clean your panels, you'll see a very direct increase because of that. The other thing that I want to talk about is when we look at cleaning solutions for our solar panels, we got to look at what are they using. Some of these companies will come out and use a chemical solution. So if they do, you need to make sure that it's appropriate. Number two, they'll use high pressure to be able to shoot them all and get them all done. And then the third thing that they use is like abrasive materials. So it could be a brush. It could be, something that will wipe clean all the things. And these are all good. But the other thing that I warn against is check your warranties, because some of these things could really impact the way that your warranty allows it to be covered. You don't want to go ahead and in your proactive state trying to be good and do this right, without realizing that I went ahead and hired somebody to come and clean my solar panels. They did a great job. Look how clean it is. I was doing this regularly 4 times a year. So you did a good job, but because of what you did and enabled, you now voided your 20, 30-year warranty. So we really want to make sure that we check all the fine print of all of these different things that we're doing, because we don't want to void the warranty. The other thing too is, we got to look at what type of water they're using, right? Most people just think water is water. That's not true. And I think we all know that. If we're using just regular water, it has lime in it and it creates corrosion and all these things. So if they're not using soft water on our solar panels, you can go ahead and look online, search solar panel, bad cleaning techniques or whatever, and you'll see tons of pictures of solar panels that have gotten corroded, rusted. I mean, just so many bad things that have happened. So I just caution that as we go down this path, it's definitely something we should do, but just be really cognizant of what we're doing to our solar panels. So leading into what we're going to cover next week, and it's what we've done is we've taken our IO Clean Tech, which is solar panel cleaning, and we've bumped it up a notch because what we looked at is this automatic cleaner that will spray water and clean your solar panels every 2 or 3 nights automatically without hesitation or incident, and it just does it. We looked at it and we said, can we go ahead and expand the system to not just clean solar panels, but could we go ahead and shoot water over the entire roof? Now, some people think that's crazy, but in California, wildfire season is now becoming a year-long event. So what we did was we went ahead and took something that was made for one purpose and repurposed it for a broader purpose of fire protection. Homes do not catch fire during wildfire season because the fire just comes right up and then engulfs your home. It's because of the embers that float through the air. So what we've looked at is if we can go ahead and create a barrier that is wet, create a roof that has the moisture of the water that sprinkles, it could give us the ability to have an added layer of defense to be able to help stop the spread of these wildfires. So we'll talk about that a little bit more next week because these wildfires are definitely top of mind. I mean, COVID and all of these things that are going on in our lives right now are really important, but we can't forget the important as a result of the urgent. The things that are urgent right now, which is COVID, keeping our families healthy and safe, are absolutely top of mind for all of us. But the wildfire seasons are here. They're not going to stop. These things won't stop. So we need to take a proactive approach and being able to understand what's in front of us as well as what's behind us. I think that's what's going to help create a much more bearable environment given all the circumstances we're dealing with. Thank you for joining us again. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a good week. Aloha.